ELIZA is a chatbot that was created in 1966 by Joseph Weizenbaum and released alongside a paper titled ELIZA, a computer program for the study of natural language communication between man and machine. The name ELIZA comes from Eliza Doolittle, a working-class character in George Bernard Shaw's Pygmalion. According to Weizenbaum, ELIZA's ability to be incrementally improved by various users made it similar to Eliza Doolittle. However, unlike the human character in Shaw's play, ELIZA is incapable of learning new patterns of speech or new words through interaction alone. Edits must be made directly to ELIZA's active script. The script was written in a now obscure language called MadSlip on an IBM 7094 while at MIT. The MadSlip language was created by Joseph Weizenbaum himself. He took the MAD Michigan algorithm decoder language and added list processing functionality to it, thus creating the MadSlip language in 1963. Since this language was similar to Lisp in many ways, there was some confusion around what language it was originally written in. This confusion was even further increased when Bernie Kosel wrote a version in Lisp based upon the description of the algorithm in the 1966 paper. A chatbot, put simply, is any program designed to mimic human conversation. Modern chatbots typically use generative artificial intelligence along with deep learning to achieve a more natural language communication style, although much simpler chatbots like ELIZA have existed for many decades. The idea of a chatbot comes from Alan Turing's 1950 article titled Computing Machinery and Intelligence, which proposes what is now known as the Turing test. The test consists of a computer program and a human judge having a written conversation, and to meet the criterion for intelligence, the program must be convincing enough that based on conversation alone, the human judge is unable to distinguish between the program and a real human. Joseph Weizenbaum, the creator of the ELIZA script, was a German-American computer scientist and a professor at MIT. Born in Berlin, Germany in 1923 to Jewish parents, he later escaped Nazi Germany in January 1936 at the age of 13, immigrating with his family to the United States. He began studying mathematics in 1941 at Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. In 1942, he interrupted his studies to serve in the U.S. Army Air Corps as a meteorologist, having been turned down for cryptology work because of his enemy alien status. After the war in 1946, he returned to Wayne State University, obtaining his Bachelor's of Mathematics in 1948 and his Master's in 1950. ELIZA was created to cover general conversation, but the most popular script, Doctor, was made to simulate a conversation with a Rogerian therapist, in which the therapist often uses open-ended questions to encourage patients to communicate more. Since this style of communication mainly consisted of rephrasing what was told to the therapist, it made for a very easy style of communication to imitate convincingly. The chatbot was apparently so convincing that according to Joel Moses and Jeff Meldman, who were co-workers with Joseph, Joseph's secretary was caught using the program and telling it confidential things about her boyfriend. The ELIZA effect is a term used in computer science to describe any time when, based solely on the system's output, users perceive the system as having intrinsic qualities and abilities which the software controlling the output cannot possibly achieve, or assume that outputs reflect a greater causality than they actually do. The effect is notable for occurring even when users are aware of the determinate nature of the output they are receiving. When the paper was released, Joseph did not include the source code alongside it. Even though this was a pretty big advancement in psychology, it was not so much in the field of computer science. So his paper with the sample conversations he provided were much more valuable. The script was very quickly recreated in another language, and so it simply wasn't a priority at the time to find the source code. However, recently in 2021, a man named Jeff Schrager decided he wanted to find the original source code, so he got the help of an MIT archivist by the name of Miles Crowley to go through Weizenbaum's archives. After some exploring, they found a set of files labeled Computer Conversations, and the first folder they opened contained the complete source code of ELIZA with the Doctor script attached. Jeff then went on to get permission from the Weizenbaum estate to make the code open source. Joseph's belief was that the computer, at its most basic level, is a fundamentally conservative force, and that despite being a technological innovation, it would end up hindering social progress. He famously remarked that the computer was a child of the military. Weizenbaum asserts that the definition of task and the selection of criteria for their completion is a creative act that relies on human values, which cannot come from computers. Weizenbaum makes the crucial distinction between deciding and choosing. Deciding is a computational activity, something that can ultimately be programmed. Choice, however, is the product of judgment, not calculation.